The story of Benjamin begins with both sorrow and hope intertwined, a tale that has echoed through generations. Born as the youngest son of Jacob and his beloved wife Rachel, Benjamin's arrival into the world was marked by tragedy. Rachel, after years of longing for another child following Joseph, endured a difficult and perilous labor, giving birth to her second son. In her final moments, she named him Ben-Oni, meaning son of my sorrow, a poignant reflection of her pain and the cost of bringing life into the world. Yet Jacob, driven by love and hope for his son's future, renamed him Benjamin, meaning son of the right hand, symbolizing strength, protection, and a promise of a brighter path ahead. From the very beginning, Benjamin's life was entwined with destiny. He was not merely the youngest of 12 brothers. He carried the weight of his mother's memory, the hopes of his father, and the unseen plans of God. This small child, born amid grief, would grow into a figure whose lineage would shape the course of Israel's history, producing warriors, leaders, and even some of the most influential figures in religious history. As we journey through Benjamin's life, we will uncover the trials, protections, and extraordinary events that defined him, from family reconciliations to tribal triumphs, and even the rise of remarkable leaders who carried his legacy forward. If you are ready to explore a story of resilience, divine purpose, and lasting impact, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. Do not forget to activate the notification bell so you won't miss any of our upcoming biblical stories that inspire, teach, and bring history to life. Join us as we discover how Benjamin, the son born in sorrow, became a symbol of hope, strength, and enduring legacy. Benjamin's place in Jacob's heart was unlike that of any of his other sons, a bond forged not merely by blood, but by sorrow, hope, and the shadow of loss that had haunted their family for years. The painful memory of Joseph's disappearance, a loss that had nearly shattered Jacob, weighed heavily upon him, and in Benjamin, he saw both a reminder of joy and a source of relentless anxiety. From the moment Benjamin was born, Jacob's love was inseparable from a deep, almost fearful awareness of how fragile life could be. Each step Benjamin took was guarded. Each journey undertaken was measured against the past, and Jacob's eyes constantly watched over his youngest son as if shielding him from fate itself. When famine struck the land, compelling his sons to journey to Egypt for grain, the family's fragile balance was tested. Jacob, who had already endured the devastation of losing Joseph, found himself gripped by a fear that bordered on desperation. He could not bear the thought of losing Benjamin, the child who carried the echoes of Rachel's love and the future of their family. The trip to Egypt, while essential for survival, became a source of intense anxiety. Jacob insisted that Benjamin remain at home at first, hesitating to expose him to the unknown dangers that lay along the journey. Yet circumstances demanded compromise, and with a mixture of reluctance and hope, Jacob agreed to send Benjamin along with his brothers, ensuring that measures were taken to protect him as much as possible. Even during the journey, Jacob's protective instincts were apparent in every instruction, every plea, and every precaution he offered. Benjamin was not merely another traveler seeking sustenance. He was the living embodiment of a promise, a link to a lost son, and a reminder of the fragility of happiness. His brothers, aware of their father's deep attachment, treated Benjamin with a mixture of respect, caution, and occasionally frustration, yet none could disregard the significance that Jacob placed upon him. The journey to Egypt, fraught with uncertainty, became an emotional odyssey as well, where the youngest son carried not only the weight of familial expectations, but also the subtle pressure of being the one whom his father could not imagine losing. As they crossed borders and navigated the complexities of trade and famine, Benjamin's presence illuminated the dynamics of the family. He was both a point of tension and a source of comfort, a reminder of loss and a beacon of hope intertwined. Every meal shared, every camp set up along the road, and every interaction with strangers reinforced Jacob's protective vigilance. And yet it also shaped Benjamin, teaching him resilience and the quiet strength that comes from being loved deeply while being cautiously shielded from the world's unpredictability. In the end, these journeys, though shadowed by fear, became the stage upon which Benjamin's character began to emerge, a young man shaped by love, loss, and the unwavering devotion of a father who, even in the shadow of past heartbreak, was determined to safeguard the future of his family. By the time Joseph had risen to power in Egypt, the once simple threads of family life had become intricately tangled with pain, loss, and spoken fears, and it was through Benjamin that the story of reconciliation would unfold. Joseph, now clothed in authority and wisdom, understood the weight of past betrayals and the lingering shadows of grief that haunted his brothers and his father. Though he had been sold into slavery and endured years of separation, he carried no outward bitterness, only a profound insight into the human heart, which guided him as he devised a way to measure his brothers' loyalty, integrity, and capacity for change. The choice to focus on Benjamin was deliberate. The youngest son, beloved and protected, embodied both vulnerability and hope, serving as a mirror through which Joseph could observe the transformation of those who had once acted with envy and deceit. As his brothers arrived in Egypt seeking grain, Joseph's awareness of their past misdeeds and their present intentions created a tense undercurrent beneath the surface of hospitality. He orchestrated a series of tests that were as subtle as they were revealing, crafting situations that would expose the character and true priorities of each man. Benjamin, innocent yet central to the unfolding drama, became the pivot around which fear, loyalty, and love rotated. His presence amplified the stakes, forcing his brothers to confront the lessons of their past and the consequences of their actions. They were challenged not only to provide for the family, but to demonstrate restraint, compassion, and an evolving understanding of kinship that Joseph, with quiet calculation, had longed to see. Through these trials, the family began to navigate a labyrinth of emotions, each encounter peeling back layers of misunderstanding, guilt, and suppressed longing. Joseph observed, silently noting the moments when his brothers chose generosity over greed, empathy over self-interest, and unity over discord. Every gesture, every hesitation, every protective glance toward Benjamin revealed the depth of their transformation, while the youngest son, blissfully unaware of the full significance, unwittingly became the catalyst for a restoration that transcended simple reunion. In Benjamin's eyes, Joseph saw the innocence and continuity of the family line, and in their interactions, he discerned the possibility of forgiveness and healing. The crescendo of this journey of reconciliation came as Joseph could no longer conceal his identity. In the intimate unfolding of recognition, fear and disbelief gave way to tears, embraces, and the unspoken acknowledgement of shared history. The reunion was not merely a restoration of familiar faces, but a profound reconciliation that mended the fractures of years, healed the scars of betrayal, and renewed the bonds that had seemed irreparably broken. In this moment, Benjamin's role was undeniable. As the cherished youngest son, he had served as both the test and the bridge, a living reminder of the future that could emerge from the past shadow. The brothers, now humbled and enlightened, embraced the lessons that Joseph's tests had revealed, discovering the enduring power of forgiveness and the capacity for transformation within themselves. In the end, the family stood not just reunited but profoundly changed, each member carrying the understanding that love and loyalty, when tested and nurtured, could overcome the deepest of wounds. Benjamin, whose very existence had once been a source of worry and intense protection, became a symbol of the family's resilience, the bond that had endured time, tragedy, and separation, guiding them toward a future where unity, understanding, and hope prevailed, and where the past, though remembered, no longer dictated the terms of their shared life. Though small in numbers, the tribe's influence on Israel's history loomed far larger than its size might suggest, and its story was one woven with courage, cunning, and an unyielding sense of purpose that resonated through generations. From the earliest days, this tribe distinguished itself not merely through survival, but through feats of military skill that would become legendary, defending their people against overwhelming odds and establishing a reputation that demanded respect across the land. Each member seemed to carry within them a quiet determination, a readiness to act decisively when duty called, and a sense of destiny that intertwined their personal lives with the broader fate of the nation. Central to this legacy were the figures who emerged as leaders and visionaries, men whose names would echo through history and whose decisions shaped the course of Israelite society. Ehud, with his cunning and bravery, became a symbol of how intelligence paired with courage could overturn even the most oppressive forces. While Saul, anointed as Israel's first king, represented the consolidation of political and religious authority in a time of uncertainty, setting precedents that would influence the governance and spiritual life of the people for generations. Their stories, filled with triumphs and failures, victories and hard-won lessons, illuminated the character of a tribe that understood that leadership required more than strength, it demanded insight, resilience, and the ability to inspire unity among diverse and often fractious communities. As the tribe navigated the complex landscape of Israel's early history, it became clear that their contributions were not limited to the battlefield. Their strategic decisions, alliances, and guidance in moments of crisis often determined the outcomes of conflicts and the stability of the nation. They nurtured leaders who could negotiate, who could balance the demands of war with the imperatives of faith and community, and who could inspire loyalty and courage in others. In every generation, the tribe's presence shaped the political and religious contours of Israel, and even when individual members faced personal trials or national upheaval, the collective identity of the tribe remained steadfast, grounded in a heritage of resilience, honor, and service to a higher purpose. The narratives of their exploits, from daring military campaigns to moments of profound moral decision, highlighted a consistent thread: the ability to rise above adversity through intelligence, bravery, and a commitment to the common good, whether confronting external enemies or internal discord. The tribe's leaders and warriors demonstrated that true influence stemmed not from numbers or wealth but from the courage to act decisively, the wisdom to discern the right course, and the integrity to remain faithful to both God and community. Their legacy was a testament to how even a small group could leave an indelible mark on history, producing figures whose deeds would inspire generations, and whose stories would be remembered not just for their victories, but for the enduring principles they embodied. In the quiet moments between battles and councils, the tribe's ordinary members also contributed to this enduring impact. Sustaining traditions, supporting leaders, and fostering the cultural and spiritual life that allowed Israel to flourish. Together, these threads of courage, skill, and strategic insight wove a rich tapestry that highlighted the tribe's essential role in the nation's development. By the time history recorded their achievements, it was evident that this small but formidable tribe had left a legacy far beyond what its size might suggest. A legacy defined by leadership, bravery, and the profound ability to influence the destiny of Israel itself, shaping the spiritual and political foundations that would endure for generations to come. The period of the Judges was a time of turbulence and uncertainty for all of Israel, and for this particular tribe, it proved to be one of the most perilous chapters in its history. A time when internal strife threatened not only their influence, but their very survival. The civil war that erupted tested the limits of their resilience, as neighboring tribes and even factions within their own borders turned against them, driven by misunderstandings, competition, and old grievances that had festered over generations. The battles were fierce, often leaving entire communities in ruin, and the weight of fear and loss pressed heavily on the tribe, threatening to erase centuries of accomplishments and tarnish the legacy they had carefully cultivated through acts of courage, leadership, and devotion to the nation. Yet, in the face of near annihilation, the tribe demonstrated an extraordinary capacity for strategy and adaptability, qualities that had long defined its identity. Their leaders, though criticized for the methods they employed, recognized that survival required bold and decisive action, navigating a landscape where moral clarity often blurred with the necessities of life and preservation. It was in this crucible of conflict that the tribe's resourcefulness became most apparent, as they leveraged alliances, orchestrated tactical maneuvers, and marshaled the remaining strength of their people to withstand the pressures that threatened to consume them entirely. The controversial nature of their actions sparked debate among contemporaries and would later challenge historians. Yet these measures ultimately proved effective in safeguarding the remnants of the tribe and ensuring the continuity of its lineage. As the immediate threat receded, the tribe undertook the arduous task of rebuilding, not only physically but socially and spiritually, restoring cohesion among its members and reclaiming its position within Israel. Families who had been scattered were reunited, communities that had been devastated slowly revived, and the lessons learned during the conflict became embedded in the tribe's collective consciousness, shaping the way future generations approached leadership, justice, and communal responsibility. Through this painstaking process, the tribe reaffirmed the values that had always guided them: loyalty, courage, and a commitment to the survival and prosperity of the larger nation. In parallel with their internal restoration, the tribe maintained its broader role in Israelite society, demonstrating that even after near destruction, their influence could not be diminished. Their warriors continued to defend the borders and participate in the nation's military campaigns, while their leaders contributed to political deliberations and religious guidance, ensuring that the tribe remained a vital force in shaping Israel's destiny. Stories of resilience and ingenuity circulated among neighboring tribes, reinforcing the idea that true strength was measured not merely by numbers or wealth but by the ability to endure adversity and emerge stronger. The aftermath of the Civil War also highlighted the tribe's capacity for moral and strategic complexity. Decisions once criticized became lessons in prudence and pragmatism, showing that survival sometimes required difficult choices, yet that such choices could be reconciled with a long-term vision of growth and stability. The narrative of this period became an enduring part of the tribe's identity, a story of near collapse transformed into a testament to perseverance, cleverness, and the unbreakable bonds of kinship and faith. By the time the era of the judges concluded, the tribe had not only survived but had reclaimed its prominence, reinforcing its reputation as a group capable of remarkable feats under pressure and as a cornerstone in Israel's ongoing narrative. Their journey through near annihilation served as a reminder that adversity, while severe, could forge resilience, inspire unity, and secure a lasting legacy, cementing the tribe's place in history as a force defined by courage, strategy, and an unwavering commitment to the future of their people. As we look back on the remarkable journey of the tribe of Benjamin, it becomes clear that their story is far more than a historical account. It is a testament to endurance, faith, and the profound ways in which destiny can unfold through generations. From Benjamin himself, whose birth was marked by both sorrow and hope, to the generations that followed, the tribe consistently demonstrated resilience in the face of adversity, navigating challenges that might have crushed lesser communities, even when threatened with near extinction during the tumultuous period of the judges. Their courage, strategic acumen, and unyielding commitment to survival allowed them not only to endure but to thrive, leaving a legacy that would echo throughout history. Benjamin's lineage, woven deeply into the tapestry of Jewish and Christian traditions, includes figures who played transformative roles in shaping faith and culture. Esther, whose bravery saved an entire nation, exemplifies the tribe's enduring courage and sense of divine purpose. The Apostle Paul, whose writings and missionary work laid the foundation for spreading the message of Christianity far beyond the borders of Israel, reflects the enduring influence of Benjamin's descendants on spiritual and historical development. These figures remind us that impact is not measured by size or might, but by character, conviction, and the willingness to act when called. The story of Benjamin serves as a powerful reminder that resilience often emerges from the most unexpected places. Small, seemingly vulnerable individuals or groups, when guided by faith and purpose, can shape the course of history in ways that appear almost miraculous. The tribe's survival through civil strife, famine, and internal threats highlights the enduring principle that adversity, while daunting, can become a crucible in which strength, unity, and wisdom are forged. Each generation of Benjamin's descendants built upon the foundations laid by those before, proving that even in moments of fear and uncertainty, perseverance and faith can produce extraordinary outcomes. Through the lens of history and faith, Benjamin's legacy continues to inspire. Their journey shows us that God's faithfulness is often revealed not through grandiose beginnings but through steadfastness, courage, and the refusal to be defeated by circumstances. The lessons drawn from their story encourage us to recognize the potential within ourselves and our communities, reminding us that each act of bravery, loyalty, or compassion contributes to a much larger narrative. It is a story that transcends time, offering hope and guidance to anyone facing challenges that seem insurmountable. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the life and legacy of Benjamin and his tribe. If you found this story inspiring and meaningful, please show your support by liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more stories that explore history, faith, and the incredible power of human resilience. Your support helps us continue to bring these lessons to life and connect the past with the present in ways that enlighten, inspire, and uplift. So do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this story with others who appreciate the enduring lessons of courage, hope, and faith.